Hi everyone, my name is Jessica. I'll tell you about a new book named Roald, Chocolate and the Great Glass Adventure. Last video we read 4 chapters from chapter 7 to chapter 10. It's all about Chocolate and Little Willy Wonka and also Grandpa Joe and others grandpas of Chocolate Bucket and have Middle Bucket and Middle's Buckets. They have the fun time for going in the elevator into the Space Hotel that in the United States have been invited by the United States company. So this video will also read for 4 chapters is from chapter 10 to chapter 13. So now I'll read the contents to know about when will we read it. Chapter 10. Trent spots casualties in trouble. Attack no one. Chapter 11. The Battles of Nits. Page 87. Back to the Chocolate Factory, page 99. Chapter 13. How Wonka has invite. So now let's start to read from page 80 to page 105. So now let's start. Chapter 10. Transports cajoled in trouble, attack no one. While Suckhorns, Shanks, and Shadowlers were being chased by the Space Hotel and the Nits of Little Willy Wonka, Glass Great Adventure was orbiting on the Earth at the tremendous speed. Little Willy Wonka has all the booster rocket firing in the elevator was reached for the speed 34,000 miles on an hour, trying instead to get away from the huge, angry Vermicius. But Grandpa Jones' fine were terrifying. Every time they looked at it, she let her piercing. Little Willy Wonka wasn't afraid of it, but Grandpa just fine were terrified. Very time looked at it, she let out a piercing scream and clapped 10 miles an hour of Dundee in the Nid. Healthy 10 miles an hour is dawdling to the Nid. Healthy young Nits think nothing well of traveling 1,000,000 miles between lunch and supper, and then another 1,000,000 before the breakfast the next day. How else could they travel between the planet Venus and the other stores? But one Mr. Willy Wonka should kept beyond this and save the rocket power, but he kept right on going into the giant's Nid, kept right on crushing effortlessly alongside, glaring into the elevator with winked and red eyes. You people have the bruises on my backside, said the Nit. Seems to be saying, and I'm getting to the end, and I'll get you for that. They had been stroking around the earth like this for about 45 minutes when Chocolate, who was floating comfortably beside Grandpa Joe near the ceiling, said suddenly, "There's nothing ahead. Can you see it, Grandpa? Straight in front of us." "Yeah, I can, Chocolate, I can." Good heavens, it's a space hotel. It can't be, Grandpa. We left it miles behind us long ago. Aha, said Mr. Willy Wonka. We've been far going so fast, and we've gone in the way before the earth and caught up, and it again. It split apart, and there's a transport carriage. Can you see it? It's Grandpa. It's just behind the space hotel. There's something else there too, Chocolate. If I'm not mistaken, I know what those are. Screams Grandpa Josephine. They're vermicellious knits. Turn back the ones. Reverse, yelled Grandpa Georgia. Go to the other way, dear lady, said Mr. Willy Wonka. This isn't a cart on the motorway. When you're on the rabbit, you cannot stop and you cannot go backwards. I don't care about that, shouted Grandpa Josephine, just in the brakes. Stop, backpedaled the nits. Let us now, let's for heavens and sake to stop the nonsense once for all. Mr. Willy Wonka said sternly, you know very well my elevator is completely neat-proof. You have nothing to fear. They were closer now and they could see the nits pouring out of the space tailed in the space hotel and swarming like the wasps around the transport capsules. They're attacking it, cried Charlie. They're after the transport carrier. It was the fearsome sight. The huge green-eyed egg-shaped nits were grouping themselves into the quadrants of the 20 nits in the quadrant. Through then, each quadrant formed itself into the lines abreast, with 1 yard between formed itself into a line abreast with 1 yard between it, then one and after another. The quadrants began attacking the transports carriers. They attack in reserve with their pointed rear ends in front of that came in a fantastic speed. Wham! One squadron attacked, bounces up into the wheels away. Crash! Another adrenaline smashes against the sides of the transport catcher. Get us out of here, you Manda! Screamed Grandpa Josephine. What are you waiting for? They'll be coming after us next, yelled Grandpa Georgia. For heaven's sake, man, take back. I doubt for much. If that catches of theirs needn't proof, said Mr. Willy Wonka, then we must help them, cried Charlie. We have to do something. They have hurried and 50 people inside the things down to the earth, and in the White House study of the presidents and the advisors was listening to the honor of the voice into the astronauts over the radio. John of the Earth in the White House study, the president and his advisors were listening to the honor to the voice of the astronauts over the radio. They are coming to the droves. Suckworms were shouting. They are bashing into the bits. But who? Shouted the president. You haven't even told us who is attacking you. These dirty, great, greenish brown brutes with blue eyes, shouted the Shanks bitterly. In their shape like enormous eggs, and they are coming at us backwards. Backwards, cried the president. Why backwards? Because their button was even more pointy than their tops. Shouted Sucksworm like out. Here comes another lot. Bang! He won't be able to stand there much longer. Mirror presidents, the waitresses are screaming, and the chambermaids are the physical of the hysterical, and the bellboys are become sick in the hall porters was saying in the prayers. So that shall we do, Mirror President. Sure on the earth shall we do. Fire your rockets, you idiots, and make a re-entry, shouted the president. Come back to the earth immediately. That's possible, cried Showard. They are to burst at rockets. There smashes them into smithereens. Their crooked mirror presidents, shouted the Shanks. We are done for, because even if we don't succeed destroying the capture, we'll be stay here in the orbit for the rest of our lives. We can make the re-entry without rockets. The president was sweating of the sweat ran all the way down to the back of its neck and inside his collar. Any moment now, Mirror's president's Shanks went on. We're going to lose attack with you altogether. There's another lot coming at us, and the left is there aiming straight from the radio atrial. Here they aren't. I don't think we'll be able to. The voice cut. The radio went deaf. Shrinks, said the president. Where are you, Shanks? Suckworms, Shanks. Shallworms, suck sandlers, sankworms, show sucklers. Why don't you answer me? Up to the glass grates, adventured where they had no radio, and they read nothing further conversations. Charlie was saying, surely their only hope is to make the re-entry and dive back into the earth quickly. Yes, said Mirror Willy Wonka, but in order of the re-entry, the earth as most fair, they are got to change course of the heads downwards to dance that the rocket is. But there's rocket tube are they attended by the bent. We can see that from here. They aren't crippled. Here, why we can turn them down? Charlie asked Mirror Willy Wonka. Jumpeth even floating of somehow. Jumpeth very excitedly. He shot upward into the heat of the head and the ceiling. Then he spun around 3 times in the air and cried, Charlie, you've got it. That's it. We'll turn to our orbits and the questions buttons quick. What do we taunt them with? Cried Asmitter, Grandpa Joe. Our nicties. Don't you worry about little things like that, cried Mirror Willy Wonka. My great glass elevator is ready for anything. And we go like in the beach. Dear friends, in the beach. Stop him, screamed Grandpa. Just fine. You be quiet, Josie, said Grandpa, though there's someone's over there's in need of helping hands and it's our job to give us. If you're frightened, you'd be better just close your eyes, stick your stick fingers in your ears. Chapter 11, The Battles of Nits. Grandpa Joe sure, shouted Willy Wonka kindly. Just yourself over the far corner in the elevator. There you will be turned at the handles. It lowers the rope. Ropes do no good. Mr. Wonka, the knit will be bites over the rope in 1 second. It's a steel rope, said Mr. Willy Wonka. It's made of reinforced steel. If you try to bite that teeth, you splurge the splinskins. We are going right in the torp's chin's parch casuals, and then we'll try for the hook on it's someone and got firm holding, like a battleship, going for the actions of the great glass adventure with a booster rocket flying move smoothly in the over of the top enormous transport squadrons of giants vermicles knit flung themselves fiercely against Mr. Willy Wonka's marvelous machine. Wham, crabs, bang, the noise were thunderstorms and terrible. The elevator was tossed in the sky as they left it, and inside it, Grandpa Josephine, Grandpa Georgia, and Grandpa George, floating in the night shirts, were all after yodeling and the researching for flapping their wings and calling for help. Mirror buckets were wrapped her hands, cold around Mirror bucket was clasped him so tightly that one of the shirt buttons punctured his skin. Chocolate and Mirror Willy Wonka, as cool as 2 cubes of ice, were up there in the ceiling working booster rocket controls, and Grandpa Joe shouting war cries and throwing curses at the nits were down below turning here the ice handle that around was done with the grass floor of the elevator. There it is, shouted Mr. Willy Wonka. My chocolate factory, my beloved chocolate factory. You mean great chocolate factory, said Grandpa Joe. That's right, said Mr. Willy Wonka, addressing Chocolate. I'd clean for gardens. I do apologize you, my dear boy. Of course yours. Here we go. Through glass doors adventure. Chocolate caught a quick glimpse of the huge red roof into the tall chimneys of the giant's factory. They're plunging straight down onto and hold the breath, shouted Mr. Wonka. Hold the nose, fasten your seat belts, and say your prayers. You're going through the roof. So this video I tell you about from page, we tell you from page 18 to page 99. I will drink some water and then tell you about to the last happened to chapter we read today. Let's wait for me some minutes. I'll be back to get some water and we can drink it. I'll be back to read it. Chapter 12. Back to the chocolate factory. And then the noise was splattering to down wood and broken glass, and the absolute darkness was the most awful crunching sound in the elevator, crashing on and on, crunching the elevator of the sounds, smashing everything before. He rounded the twist. He bugged as the beetle. He's dotted as the dick bat. He's got a rat at the roof. I ain't got to go home. So this video will tell you about a book named Roald, Chocolate and the Great Glass Eventure. Next video will tell you about next new chapter and also this book. So this till then, goodbye for listening to my video. Goodbye next time for all of you. Goodbye.